Right. Can't have on the trousers. You're going to follow the mic park here, otherwise. Follow the trousers. Offload it.
Hello and a very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Ystrad Mynach in the Rhymney Valley in South Wales for match day 2 in the Six Nations Women's Summer Series. It feels like the height of summer in South Wales today. 31 degrees, the mercury is rising. And for this first match between England and Italy, it is extremely hot conditions. But both teams last time out showed some great form on the field. England beating Scotland in their first match, and Italy recording the best results that there has been against a French side in the Women's Summer Series over 2 editions. They lost still heavily in points, 46-5, but this Italian team showed enough in that match to suggest that they can challenge everyone else in the competition. So we start with the national anthems here at the Centre of Excellence in Ystrad Mynach. Wherever these two anthems are sung, they are as rousing as ever. This is the Italian team to take on England today. They've made 6 changes to the team that lost to France. From the front row upwards, they go Angelica Cittadini and Chiara Kelly. They stay in the front row. In comes Gaia Dossi, Francesca Andrioli and Alice Antonazzo in the second row. Then Luna Sacchi, Martina Farina, they're 2 newcomers into the back row, alongside captain Elena Ericchiello at number 8. The halfbacks are Nicole Mastrangelo and Lavinia Pratichetti. In the centres, it's Teresa Sofia Blazkovic, Elisa Cecati, and in the back 3, Mihaela Piripilu, Lara Petretti and Christian Kone. This is England's team. 14 changes for LJ Lewis's side. The one retaining player is Sophie Hopkins on the right wing. Everyone else is fresh to a starting role here in Ustrad Minnak. Chloe Fine and Zara Green are the front row. Calendine the captain today. Jasmine O'Donnery and Kiwi Fitzpatrick in the second row. The back row has Lucy Sams, Sophie McQueen and Ala Latui combining. And the halfbacks are Poppy Love and Ella Cromack. She gets a starting role today. Carmela Morale and Sarah Parry in the centres, whilst the back 3 are lightning fast with Millie David, Hopkins as mentioned, and Eva Wood at fullback. .31 degrees at midday down in South Wales, as it is across so much of the British Isles today. It is hot, and it's a job just staying cool for us, Amber Reid. It's great to have your company, by the way. What a day.
Yeah, what a day. Weather's slightly different to last week, but hopefully we'll see some running rugby as a result.
So Italy will get us going after losing to France last time out. They started well against the French. They just couldn't keep up with the pace that the French managed. England beating Scotland in their first match 6 days ago, but a raft of changes, 14 out of 15. So let's see how they connect in these opening encounters. Ella Cromack at 10, the Harlequin, pulling the strings today, and England working their way through this Italian defence. Accurate passing early on from England. Now Italy get up and close and personal with Gaia Dossi making her mark, the tight head prop, and Italy have a penalty from early on. That's a great defensive set from the Italians.
Off the back of last week, I think you can probably credit the Italian defence. They had a tough game against a very good French side, but they did force France to 3 or 4 disallowed tries, so the defence will be super strong today and England need to be wary of it.
Italy have a new fly half in residence as well, Lavinia Pratichetti at 10 today.
Thank you.
She makes sure of that first touch into the corner.
On the line, girls.
Very little wind to speak of today. The hookers and jumpers have the best job possible of getting things right on the timing, and they've done this here, and they peel off Italy looking for the first score. And they're close, meters away now, into the centres, and using Blazkovic to blast her way through. But the knock-on comes after that, so we'll have a try line drop out.
Goal line.
And the referee, Jess Kavanagh of Wales, indicates that one.
Yeah, really good start from the Italians. They went long with the kick-off. England looked to play out.
You took it back
One
over,
thing the Italians
so we'll
do, they
scrum 5 to
work
them.
really hard in the fence, and they overfolded there. Ella Cormack came back on that blind side, probably could have gone a phase earlier, but then ran themselves into trouble. Italy really organised, especially early in the game. They're going to get hard off that line.
Scrum 5 to you. They took it back over. Scrum 5. Scrum. Scrum down.
So come back for the
Taken
scrum
back over by England.
because England have ripped
Taken
it
back.
rather than it being a knock-on from Italy.
Yeah, you could hear the comms from Jess Kavanagh. She said stripped in the tackle. Tackle happened before that try line, so ball goes over, England touched it down, so Italians still have a real foothold in this England 22.
Number 8, Elena Ericchiello, is their most powerful runner
Ready, girls?
from the base, and this could well be her kind of territory. England's flankers Sophie McQueen and Lucy Sams will have their eyes up here.
Set.
Mastrangelo, the scrum half, retains her place in the starting 15. It is Erichiello. She goes. She's unopposed here. She's reaching for the try line, and Italy have the first score. England stunned by the captain, Erichiello. All that power from the base, and no one was stopping her.
She was fantastic last week in a losing cause. Everything good the Italians did came from this woman right here, and she's never going to give the ball to the backs 5 metres out, and why not if you're that good a carrier? Target the fly half of the opposition, get off the base of the scrum. Really good platform for her to go. And a great finish.
Elena Erichiello, living up to the reputation and the leadership role. Platiketti keeps this one low, but it glances the left hands upright. So Italy don't take all 7 from that first raid forward.
Just make sure they're behind you, okay?
So England's Cromack goes long from the restart. This one picked out of the sun, and nearly looking up into the skies is a degree of discomfort with this kind of sun today. But Italy do keep it safe. And they use Chiara Chielli, their hooker, back to Platiketti. Right down Main Street for England. Cromack is back. Millie David is on the field from the start this afternoon for England. Joint top try scorer in the PWR this year, but England don't work it to her wing early on. Poppy Love penalised on the floor, the scrum half for England.
Hold it on. Yes.
England just a little bit slow at the minute. Italians are winning the race to the breakdown. If you look to their game from last week, they competed hard in that area. Did cause France a few issues in terms of stunting their attack, and they're going at the breakdown here. England just need to be faster in support and look after their ball.
Italy numbers. Numbers, Italy.
Just the 6 changes for Italy today after last week. 3 in the forwards, 3 in the backs. So more shuffling of cards rather than a whole new raft of new faces to get used to. But still, with one of those older faces from last week, Chiara Chielli, the hooker, just not quite on the same wavelength as her jumpers.
5.
England's chance now, and the captain Calladine, captain England's in April against the Springboks, the full Springbok side, nonetheless, in a warm-up match for this summer series with Lucy Calladine. Italy would have been away at the races there, but they knocked it on off the back.
This is the mark, girls, let's go.
I think England just need to settle at the moment, build themselves into the game. They've not had much of the ball. Italians have dominated that. Just build their attack, keep it simple, use the pace they've got in the back 3. Italians go narrow, they come hard on the edge. There is space to play if they get their depth right.
So Poppy Love feeds the scrum, and this scrum is being minced by the Italians. But they've gone a little too far, and penalty England.
Push your mark.
So England into Italy's half as Ella Cromack nudges her charges forward. 10 appearances in the PWR last year for Harlequins. England's number 10 today. Off the bench last week and now
Go back, please, England.
into the starters jersey. to the back. England go off the top. It's not quite clean for Love, and she has to make other plans. Picked off the floor by O'Donoghue. It's a good drive from England. They reset well. Love and Cromack, and there's options, plenty of them. Now they look to stretch Italy a little wider with Millie David in space for the first time, and she hits gear number 3 rather than going full gas early on. But there's the danger. There's the hot stepping talent of Millie David. O'Donoghue moves England forward. Cromack with great shape to this England backline right now. Into the fray for Morale. Pop back inside, and Italy holding but conceding yards at every collision. Fullback Wood. Love. Green. First start for England under-20s for Zara Green today. That's a good line as well from Latui. First impact from England's number 8. Just behind Caladine. So England can still recover this. Cromack sees some space here behind. David is sent after it. It'll be beaten by everybody. And Amber, the shape to England's attack there, how would you assess that?
Yeah, much more patient from England's attack. Use their full carriers to get over the gain line. Going width to width against Italy is probably a good option. They're overfolding. They played a lovely ball out the back of the pod from Cromack. And that's where they could have pulled the trigger. Instead, Morale carried, but if they'd gone wide, there was potentially an opportunity, but a much better build-up for England. And that kick from Cromack, she didn't quite connect with it as well as she would have wanted to, but if that goes into Millie Davis' hands, she's scoring.
I asked you at the beginning of the match, early numbers. No, she's receiver, she's fine. Time back on.
So Kelly for Italy. Try and get this right. It has to be just right, and it's not quite right, but nonetheless Italy make the most of it. England penalty though, they were overstretched, and the Jacklers of England do the job.
This is an area where England can really look to target if they're disciplined in their defence. Unfortunately that's gone dead, but if they're disciplined in their defence, the Italian kicking game last week put them under all sorts of pressure against France. They kicked at the wrong time, they didn't kick with accuracy, so England need to give them no easy exits, and they will continue to get attack in this area of the field.
And just a point on overfolding, when you use that term exactly for those not versed in all the lingo, what's exactly you talking about there?
So generally a team will play the same way as they attack, so they'll continue to work from width to width, from one touchline to the other. In defence, you're looking to fill the field with as many players on feet as possible, and ideally from touchline to touchline. But if you know a team's going to play the same way, you need to match their numbers in attack with your numbers in defence. But sometimes you put too many around the corner, and that's when it gets to that overfold and it leaves space where they've just come from.
Here's David. Oh, she's broken the line already. Not just about fast feet with Millie David. There's a lot of power behind her these days. Cromack now can pick the biggest runners to do the most damage, and Kiwi Fitzpatrick is one of those on the last charge. Space here again on the other wing this time. Here's Hopkins. We saw her fleetingly last week, and we get a glimpse of it now. Picked up by Wood. England looking for their first score. But Italy at the death with a last-ditch penalty of their own.
Again, really lovely running lines by England. Didn't see much of Hopkins on the ball last week, but she does have taste to burn. Again, fantastic defence by the Italians, but we said England needs to be fast to that breakdown, and there's another case in point there. Italy so quick over that ball. Saved another try potentially from England there.
Water off. Time back on. Water off. Number 5.
Pratichetti. It's at about 15 metres or so.
Italy, use the line.
So they've not relieved the pressure. They will have the line out.
Yes. England. England. Open up. Italy, use the line. Open up. Open up, please.
Kelly. Italy again under pressure, but they've smuggled it back to their own side. Mastrangelo. Pratichetti. This is bounced awkwardly for Hopkins. Here's Eva Woods. Now Millie David under pressure, and that's exactly the way to shut down Millie David. So England keep it tight. And Cromack drops it round the back. Going to the width here once again and making space for Hopkins. She kicks in field. Hopkins is in the hunt here with morale. Hopkins maybe for her own. Italy covering really well. Getting the chance to see Sophie Hopkins a couple of times in these early stages, and weren't able to say that 6 days ago, but she's got plenty of ball here.
Straight off your feet, past the breakdown. Okay, penalty. 12, straight off her feet, past the breakdown.
She's got pace to burn, hasn't she? England didn't get the ball to her enough last week, but she's showing why she should have done. But again, fantastic last-hit defence by the Italians, and that's where that England discipline needs to be on point. The Italians are camped on their own line. No easy outs to allow them to kick to touch.
Hopkins almost keeping that in, but not quite. Amber, what do you make of the selection of only one player who played last week, and that player being Sophie Hopkins? Is that a reflection of how little she played last week? Because the England staff want to give her more time because she was actually unable to show what she could do last week.
Yeah, potentially, but then they've rotated the other back three players, so it might be that they're looking at this as a combination. Lots of pace to burn, see how they go together.
Well, LJ Lewis and her coaching staff, including Sarah McKenna as well, involved here, and it's defensive side of things that they'll be looking at right here, and that rolling maul defence particularly, because Italy had the run on them there. So Pratichetti taken well by Wood, and she gets the legs pumping, moves it on to the left-hand wing. Big contact on that edge. It's kept alive by England well. Cormac looks outside her. Again, a nice trio of players. One of them, Latui, and she did her job to keep it alive, but then the play broke down.
I'm excited to see Latui grow into the game. Saw her play in the Bucks final and she was taking names of fun both sides of the ball, so definitely someone that England can look to if they need that bit of momentum, but front football, just give it into that woman's hands and watch her go.
Yeah, she's in the place of Annabelle Mehta, who provided such good go forward last week for England too. And she's the daughter of Aleki Latui, the Worcester Warrior, man of long-standing tenure at Worcester Warriors. He knew how to carry the ball up hard as well.
Okay. Time off. Foul play. Potential foul play. Okay.
So Jenny Davis in the truck, running the TMO for us here today, has spotted something. So she's calling Jess Kavanagh over to the screen to look at some foul play.
I'm at the screen, Tricks.
And Amber, whilst this loads up, England's performance so far similar to last week. Lots of good things, and a few connections just not quite happening to mean that they haven't yet scored. But how would you assess it over almost 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think obviously the Italians got themselves on the front foot early doors in this game, but England have slowly started to build themselves out. I think this number of changes means it's going to be hard to grow, so it's probably going to need a little bit more time, but they're starting to fire now.
Okay, I have a decision. I see white, 12, contact with the head with shoulder. It's not high impact. Yellow card, it would be my decision.
Number 12 is Carmela Morale for England.
Okay, let's go.
The Loughborough Lightning player.
Just make sure, let me know where the mark is, Treeks. Captains, Lucy, Eleanor, and white 12, please. We have a head contact from white 12 in the ruck, so yellow card. Okay. Where's the mark, Treeks?
Yeah, so at that breakdown, Carmela Morale's just come in high on the jackling player. We've said that Italy love to go for that ball, love to jackal, but in terms of if you're slow, like we've seen England so far in this game, the jackler is going to be in a better position. And Carmela Morale arrives late, and to try and clear her, she's just got shoulder to head, which is why she's got that yellow card.
England down to 14 for 10 minutes then. Getty hasn't found touch. England's reclining, and of course down in that all-important position of 12.
Advantage, knock on.
So crucial to defence and attack. And this drops on the floor. England hack it forward.
No advantage. We'll go for the first knock on.
And where would you place that number 12 position? Is a position to have to cover for your team, of course. Is it one of the worst positions to lose someone in?
As a former 12, I'm going to say yes. We do a lot on the pitch. But no, it depends about the makeup of your back line. If you've got two centres that are distributors, they read the game really well, your 13 will slot into that 12 role and help your fly half out. If your 13 is a bit more of a runner, carrier, not necessarily a decision maker, then it might mean that you'll miss some opportunities out there that your 12 potentially would take.
Bind! 8.
So Mastrangelo gets this off Eric Yellow and then has her winger up in support in Piripilu. England do knock her into touch. In the end, actually, it was Lara Petretti on the right wing.
Italy open.
Shutting down an 8-9-14 like that, Amber, that represents a big win for England.
Yeah, big win, and the fact that it was Lucy Sams that's come off that scrum as well. She's worked hard. That's exactly what you want your back row to do. Really nice play by the Italians. Lovely fix and give. Made the most of it. And the little errors like that aren't going to help England, especially when they're a player down, to grow into this game. They've lost that 12, so the potential to go wide may be a bit limited, but what they do have is a pack that will give you go forward. So it's about getting them into the game, allowing them to break some holes in this Italian defence that at the moment look quite comfortable.
Like this, because I can't then. Okay, I will look at that. Thank you. I will also look at that.
What is let us in a little bit, Amber, to the mindset of an international player. When you lose a player, and do you consciously play a bit harder, cover a bit more ground, know you have to do extra things in order to cover for your teammate? Is that in any way conscious, or how does it work out?
I don't think it's necessarily a case of, I have to work harder. Maybe it might be that in defence. If you stay too long after you've made the tackle and you're on the floor, that's effectively two people that are out the game. Whereas if you can make your tackle, get back to your feet, you almost negate the fact that you're one player down. So defence is probably, I need to work harder to get myself back in the game. From attack, it's probably more of a tactical perspective. So which player are we missing? What decisions do I have to make? If it's a second row, am I losing a jumper in the line out? Do we need to shorten the line out to cover the options? If it's obviously your scrum half or your fly half, who then steps in to distribute that ball or become that decision maker, kick around the pitch? And then again, if you're looking at the back three, you have to cover the backfield. So it's how does that affect your pendulum in terms of how many people have you got in the backfield to cover kicks, how many people then cover the front line, and how you work together. So I say defensively, you're probably looking to work harder, not be taking that extra second of rest on the floor. You've got to get back in the game, but attack is more about tactical awareness. Who are we missing? Where do we need to plug? What decisions can we be smart about making to make it as less an impact as possible?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, it's okay.
So England heading for the shade as well as getting a water break. Yeah, that's a good idea indeed. I mean, it's exceedingly hot, Amber, and you would have played in conditions like this as well. What is there anything different that you can do? How do you keep yourself cooler over an 80 minutes of rugby? Not exactly the kind of recreation where you can, but what things can players be doing?
I think it's obviously great that they've had these 20-minute breaks in terms of the water break to get themselves in the shade. I think the thing that we don't feel up here in the stand watching is the artificial pitch. The black flecks make it so hot underfoot as well, and every time you hit that floor and the heat seems to radiate off it, so it's hot, but out on that pitch it will feel even hotter. But I guess it's just being really smart with your energy tank. You're not going to be able to go as hard, but you just need to be smarter with it. It's an international game. Sometimes how hard you have to work is dictated by the opposition, but rest when you can rest. Try and read the game so you're into position early and not chasing your tail. But yeah, there's only so much you can do when the Italians are coming at you or the English are coming at you.
I don't know if it was picked up on screen actually, but England were able to go through a gate to get to their tents and get under the shade, whereas the Italians weren't able to do that. They had to lean over the fence and try and get what shades they could. It's naturally quite a bit more sunnier in Italy though, isn't it? So, than it is in England. So Italy's lead, courtesy of their number 8, Elena Ericchiello, from an early scrum in the match. She picked up and went blind and scored. And here she's the decoy. There was no threat from the 8. Instead, Italy go through the backs and they work it nicely through Cecchetti, the outside centre. Now Pratichetti with lots of space here. Ericchiello is one of them. Goes herself, sucks into England defenders, but there was an overlap which she didn't give the ball on. Italy's next wave goes to ground and England have covered it now. That was an opportunity for Italy, for Ericchiello to slip on or out of the tackle. Only a half chance perhaps, but something hits the deck which Italy could have done more on.
Yeah, it was an interesting decision for me that they played the wraparound play, but they hit short. I know there was a half break in there, but Carmela Morale, who beat opposite her, is in the bin. England are down a number, so there is so much space wide. I would have loved to have seen them pull the ball out the back and give the ball to their back three, who showed that they can make meters last week. It could have been a real different picture if we'd seen the ball in the wingers' hands.
Yeah, Petretti and Piripiliu, the wingers for Italy today. How is the scrum here? It was a little unsteady for England earlier on in the half, and Italy have got the nudge on, but at the back, Latui so composed in bringing that away, and she's gone really wide, but such is her speed, she makes yards. Enough yards for England to go back down the short side with Caladine.
Offside. Offside.
That really is the first bit of ill discipline in defence from the Italians over 23 minutes.
Yeah, they've looked really calm and composed in defence, but again, that was the slight overfold. So on this blind side, they left a number short essentially, so they felt like they had to get the jump, which then pushes the discipline to get offside. And they don't want to allow England this tempo to slow the game down, especially with the yellow card.
White, take a step for me.
Caladine
No contact.
taken well by O'Donoghue. A little bit lower than she was expecting. Cromack gets a bump pass and then tidies things up. Uses Parry, fellow Quinn's teammate, to do the next phase. This is Chloe Flanagan. And Love keeps going the same way. Cromack has a lot of blue jerseys right up in her vision. So Millie David goes nowhere. Italy so far handling this England attack really well and pushing up on them. England back to the short side. Maybe Wood can make something happen.
If you look at the top side of your screen, it's the prop and the second row who are holding this edge against Sophie Hopkins.
It's a great spot, isn't it? Amber Reid, the inside centre's instincts never leave you. England can't make the most of it though. Italy have the ball instead, and they've got another 10 out of this, and they're keeping on coming with Erichiello.
Still got the advantage.
Still playing with house money, the Italians. And what a first half this has been for them. Keeping England at bay on the scoreboard and leading.
Guys, you've got to go back 10.
Penalty coming right now too.
No advantage.
Last week I said that they kicked away too much ball. They didn't have much possession against the French, but when they did, they kicked it away, whereas it's great to see actually the momentum they're building. They're keeping ball in hand, and they're causing all sorts of problems for England.
It's a great take at the back, right out of the sun. And the reply is long. Italy with numbers back. Kristen Kone missed out, it's gone to Blazkovic. She puts boot to ball. This is going to bounce up kindly in the end for England. Chasing from Pirpiliu for Italy. And they've got on the floor here. It's Erichiello who's done the damage. And Italy are off and going, and Kone.
Okay. Time off. Captain.
Let's have a look at this.
Okay. Twice now. You're not going back on the quick tap. Okay. Have a word. Next one's going. Creeks, am I on the mark? Yes, okay, thank you.
So the Italians just turning up the tempo. You said that they're probably a bit more used to this heat than the English.
Back 10. It's a penalty.
See a couple of times now they're looking for that quick tap. The England defence have to be back 10 before they have an involvement, and they're not. Italians are playing on top of them, and they've got a really good opportunity here, especially how their mauls function so far in this game.
Okay. Girls on the line.
So Chieli, again in a similar territory to how this match started, with Italian set-piece possession, and the maul is moving forward. Kelly at the back has got it, and she's got support as well. English bodies strewn on the floor as they try and slow it down. Penalty will come here, and this will be another card for England, this time in the forwards. And Kiwi Fitzpatrick is off for 10. England having got back Kamala Morale only for seconds before another player is in the bin. Second yellow for England. Excuse me, Morale is not yet back on the field. So England down to 13 right now. She's heading back to take her place, but Italy with two players up here, one of those in the forwards. The power comes on again, and they're going to get over the line, surely, as they go sideways, then forwards, and Italy have done it again against England. Their forward power coming to prominence and doubling their money.
We've seen this maul rumble a couple of times so far in this game, and it's just that England constantly on the back foot. A couple of quick taps by the Italians, varying the game, then going kick to the corner. Illegal maul that was brought down led to another yellow card for the English, and that is great game management by the Italians.
No Kiwi Fitzpatrick to help out, having just been sin-binned. And Chiara Kelly, the hooker, looks to have got that one down.
Thanks, Max.
Lavinia Pratichetti. Puts this more to the right, but she's struck the other upright this time. So both her conversions have been denied by the post, the left and then the right. But 10 points to 0 for Italy nonetheless at the half-hour mark. And these two nations didn't play each other last year when the competition was held in Parma in Italy. Erichiello, what a collision that is. And what a gain of ground from Italy's number 8. She's having a super half hour in the sun in Wales.
Back foot, please. 6.
Nice pass, close to contact. England might have hands on the ball. Support is good enough from Italy. Pratichetti, a lot of space in behind here. That's a great kick from Italy's fly half.
Another great bit of game management. They kicked loosely last week, but that is well judged. Getting a great platform in the middle of the field, kicking on your terms, finding space. And again, it just puts England back in their half and builds that pressure again.
Trouble. 5. 5.
Adesso controlla un po', non salire troppo forte, controlla. Per vedere se calciano o giocano.
So Canadine and company in need of a reaction. 10 minutes to play before half-time. Canadine's first job is to win the line-out with a Donry, which they do. Cromack, with a massive boot that she has, goes really far here. Good take out of the skies from Pirpiliu, and she centres things up. It's worked its way along the line, almost to Teresa Blazkovic, but forward pass from Pekati.
Scrum here. Just forward pass, Wills.
Yeah, you celebrate that. You just fucking into it, yeah? Great job.
Ella Cromack has a really strong kicking game, and you spoke about her PWR experience as well with Harlequins, and I think that England, to navigate their way around this pitch and get a foothold in this game, it's probably going to be up to her finding those spaces, but that was so well covered in the backfield. But they have an opportunity now to get into the Italian half and start to build their own pressure again.
8. Crouch! Bind! Set!
So Poppy Love feeds the scrum for England, and she's going to get a good platform here to set the back line away. Cromack, lovely spin pass from England's fly half. Good line right through the middle. Parry gets an offload too. Wood is up in support. This is David. She doesn't take it. Had she could well have been away.
England, let's come and set up. I know we're tired.
That was a lovely break, little dummy on the ball out the back. Does so well to keep that ball alive, and you've got the two speedsters on the outside, and she just doesn't manage to keep hold of it, but still a real opportunity here for England to keep Italy inside their own 22, keep their discipline and defence.
Bind! Set!
Italy likewise with the scrum platform for Mastrangelo, the scrum half. And the two centres, Kekati and Blazkovic, don't cause any problems really for England.
That's fine. 13, not rolling away from there, so you just intercede, okay? You're fine.
And then erring after that. Amber Blazkovic and Kekati there combining. A couple of passes which England wrecked. But that partnership at centre that Kekati and Blazkovic have had for 2 matches now, but it's nowhere near enough to form a partnership. How long in your experience do two centres take to get to know each other and get the best out of each other?
Is she good?
Yeah, it could take a fair few games, and it's just understanding how you can work and interchange together. You're going to have your strengths as an individual, but it's how you get the best out of one another. If you're the big, strong ball carrier, how can you carry and get yourself on the front foot, but how can you use that to draw in two defenders to put someone else into the space? How can you understand how someone moves to create the holes that they want to create that allows them to make the line break? So yeah, 2 games definitely is enough, but they've got some real significant moments in this game for that Italian backline so far, and they're looking to punch holes down that middle of the England midfield.
Taken by Poppy Love, and then she gets around the first tackler, as well the scrum half. Morale is back on for England, so they're back up to 14. England's inside centre returns. Good drive from Calladine. Love, Cromack. High pass for Flanagan to take, but she takes it well. And Cromack again using parry. England staying connected in these first few phases since the set piece. Adonri showing the direct side to England's game, which is so strong when those forwards come round the corner. Love, Cromack goes to the wing here for Hopkins, who just can't take it. It's going to stay in though. Pirpiliu. And Italy's back row sent something on the short side here, creatively conjured from the open side for Rina.
Forward pass.
But a forward pass.
We'll have a scrum here. Scrum. Numbers, please.
Crossfield kick wasn't the right option from Cromack there. Italy had numbers, they covered the kick, there wasn't much on. But the Italians just don't quite get away, but England was starting to build something. That's just when you need to be patient. If you look up and there's nothing in front of you, you probably just need to chew a contact, get into it and set a platform, because the Italians will overwork at some point and give you an opportunity.
The Italians having to make changes in this first half as well. So the second row, Elettra Costantini is on into the engine room.
Looks like England are going to run a wraparound play, and if they can get the ball wide, the Italians are so narrow.
So Morale to parry to set up the first phase. And then the interception, though, right off Cromack's pass. And then in the foot race, Millie David will get back for this. And David runs it down even before the 22. Such is her pace. That is incredible from England's left winger. For a moment, it looked like Italy were going straight for their third try in the match. But Millie David's wheels are such that this was run down so well.
England need to read the picture. It was the winger that made that tackle on Sarah Parry. If they'd gone on the outside, they would have had a 2-player overlap. But that chase back by Millie David is absolutely rapid. She wasn't letting her get away from her.
Numbers? 5.
Kristen Kone read it so well.
The Italian wingers do like to press high in their defence. They do like to come in. They shot a lot of French attack down last week.
Adonri this time at the very top of her jump.
Leave it blue.
So Italy were not challenging that one. England's forwards making yards. Zara Green. Cromack. Hopkins goes after this. And the pressure tells on Pirpiliu. But she was offside, and that was by quite a few paces as well. Here comes Italy, and Pratichetti's off, but she didn't do it in front of the referee.
Okay, so. Okay, second card come. Italy, stop. Here. Tricks. That's fine, let's go. Offside, 14.
Jess Kavanagh just making sure that the penalty is taken from where the offside was made. So Italy get a few extra metres out of that, and Pratichetti certainly makes sure of the touch.
I think Italy will feel a bit aggrieved that it wasn't closer to the try line, the sideline there, to make that kick a bit easier.
So Kelly. Italy's line out again doesn't go to plan, but again they win it back still. And that was with Saki, the number 5, Erichiello. Tackle from Sophie McQueen for England. This is the new woman on the park, and what a carry this is. Great offload too. Italy causing problems again for England. The run was from Costantini. England have turned it over on the floor, however. Great work from Italy's lock forwards, but they'd overrun their support. Now England can go from depth, and there's so much speed here. David doesn't take it. And the second time that Istrad Minak, everyone around this stadium is denied seeing Millie David in full flight. But for Italy, that will be a relief, a big relief.
Yeah, it was great ambition for England to play. It was definitely the right option. Probably didn't need to engage the Italian defence as much as that, but yeah, we just want to see Millie in full flight and go. But lovely decision. Italians get caught napping in transition. Petresi was biting in there, didn't need to engage her as much. The job was already done because she wanted to try and do something to stop it, but Millie David just overran that ball and then couldn't take it.
So half-time awaits.
Time back on, let's go now girls, please.
Keep your feet in, go. Yep.
Set up.
You got 8!
What a position this is for Italy, a bonus position at the end of this first half to try and score a third unanswered try. Mastrangelo goes to the backs, uses Blazkovic first of all to try and blast a hole, then she offloads well. Beautifully done by the Italians, and there's numbers here if they can work this along the line. They will. It's Piliou into the corner. Italy have crossed for a third time in this half, and this time it's the backs that get in on the act. Mihaela Piliou. They pass their way right through England.
Did you have the forward pass there, or was good? Okay.
It's a lovely decision as well. The whole of the England backline is stacked up, so it's not on to go wide. Lovely little delay pass. There's that centre pairing that we've spoken about. And probably again doing a little bit too much to engage the spaces wide, but they get the ball there. They keep the ball alive. They know where each other are. That was a lovely little lift on the outside. And I really hope this gets given because it deserves to be.
Now, Timo is checking this. Jess Kavanagh and Jenny Davis. How significant a decision is this come the final reckoning in this match?
Thank you.
It's going to be a tough one to call if these are the only angles that is available.
Try given for Italy, number 3 in the first half.
Time.
15 points to nil with the chance for Lavinia Pratichetti to land a conversion for the first time in the match. She's hit the left post, she's hit the right post. Can she land it right through the middle? Short from Pratichetti, so Italy can't maximise their efforts in attack. But 15 points to nil. Nonetheless, a very, very impressive first 40 minutes from these Italian women.
Make sure 11's behind you.
Still time to run though in the first half. Andrioli collects from the restart. Again, Marina Farina, the open side for Italy, wearing 7. Here's the hooker. Kelly, that goes to grounding, and we'll have the scrum from that knock-on. But we won't get there. We were in the reds, and Italy banked that first half of such quality. 3 tries to none, scored by Chiara Kelly, the hooker, Elena Ericchiello, the captain, and just before half-time, the left winger, Mihaela Pirpiliu. It's been an all-blue performance so far, and England with a big 40 ahead. But this was what we sensed they had in the locker after last week against the French. They were well beaten in the end, but plenty of signs 6 days ago that this kind of performance was there for Italy, Amber.
Yeah, they showed real promises in patches, but the French side was so good that they just controlled possession in the game. And Italy are just being way more patient, and you're seeing that come together, and they deserve to be up in the scoreboard. Like you said, they played all the rugby so far.
So at half-time here in Ustrad Minac, the Italians lead England 15 points to nil at half-time. This is how they got there. Ericchiello getting things underway, the captain, after a couple of minutes from the base of the scrum. She was their most dangerous runner against France, and even though England would have had the tape to review that, still just couldn't get their flankers round quick enough to stop her. The next try came through the forwards as well. It was the collective that got this one done. In the end, Chiara Kelly, the hooker, who had a very good first half, touching down.
This was the pick of the bunch for me. They've used their senses to good effect, mixing it up. Harry just getting it a little bit high, and that little loop round as a winger, you want to go looking for work. And they still had numbers over, wonderful hands. As a back as well, you want to score a first phase try, and that is up there with one of the best.
We'll be back with the second half after grabbing a drink ourselves. We hope you managed to do that as well at home to stay cool in this heat here in South Wales.
After the match, if any supporters would like to see the players, please make your way around the right-hand side of the stand and meet them at the back. Thank you very much. Please welcome back to the field, Italy.
Welcome back, everybody. Italy leading England at half-time in this first match of match day 2 on the Six Nations Women's Summer Series. 15 points to 0, 3 tries to none. Could have been more. They missed 3 of their 3 conversions, but they've played brilliantly so far. First of 3 matches today on the draw. We have coming up Ireland against France at 3:30, both teams having won their first match 6 days ago. Then Scotland against Wales at 6 p.m, both teams having lost their first match 6 days ago. So the encounters very nicely balanced for us that are coming up today, and this one is very nicely balanced because even though England are down, there is a sense that if the scores start to come, they can rack up the points quite quickly. And Amber Reid, over the next 40 minutes, how do you see this playing out particularly?
I think Italy are going to bring out more of the same. Pratichetti has controlled the game really well from fly half from an Italian perspective. She's kicked and found space. She's just quietly gone about her business and moved her team around into the right areas, and her defence has been phenomenal. I think England hold more of the cards in this second 40. If they can start to click and start to create the same amount of chances but convert a few more, I think the Italians will find it hard to manage them, and the game could then get away with them. But from an England perspective, they need to come out firing, and I think they need to get a score early to allow this second half to get underway for them.
It's Italy out here, going through their pre-second half warm-up. England about to join them. It is a 31-degree heat here in Ustrad Minak. It is oppressive out there. Italy have handled it very, very well so far. And their forward pack as well, Amber. They've had the set-piece advantage on England as well. Maybe not so much at line-out, but at the scrum they've had the better of things there.
Yeah, they fired a few shots at that scrum. They haven't had a reward from it yet, but they've just made the ball really messy for Poppy Love at the base, and it's just not allowing their backs to then get into a flow. They're receiving the ball on the back foot, or Poppy Love's getting scragged. So, yeah, the Italian pack are doing really well. Again, their maul's functioning. They look well organised, well drilled, in good body positions. And they might get some more reward from their scrum press as well.
Here come England, led by their captain Lucy Calladine. Second time for her captaining England. Used off the bench last week. And certainly the first half had hallmarks of a team who were not quite as connected as their Italian counterparts, but that is in a large part because this England team is featuring 14 new players out of 15 that started the match, as opposed to 6 days ago, whereas Italy fielding a far less changed side. So it would be expected to see England struggle to have the same cohesion that their opponents would have. But maybe with 40 minutes behind them now, things will start to smooth out.
What does help with that cohesion, though, is getting a real clear message, and England will now have that opportunity to be in the changing room with their coaches, with each other, to get those messages across. And if you want a team to pull in the same direction, having 1 or 2 really clear actions that they can go after at the start of this second half is really going to help them.
LJ Lewis, England's head coach, assisted by Sarah McKenna, former England Saracens player. At the controls during that half-time team talk. England back out ready to go, as are we. Ella Cromack, England's number 10, goes deep off the restart and Italy let it bounce. Fielded in the end well by Italy's Lara Petretti. And they want to play from deep here, at least initially. Petraki's kick is charged down. England's straight onto a counter here, potentially, with Fitzpatrick, who spent time in the sin bin in the first half. England down to 13 at one point. Now back up and going to a full complement with Cromack, and Cromack feeding McQueen. Cromack missed pass. Millie David, first time to see her wheels in the second half, and away she goes. Millie David on the outside, and then tackles 10 metres short. Good line again, Caladine running hard. Poppy Love needs support, gets it from Green, the tight head prop. Italy on red alert at the start of this second half because England want the whitewash and their first points in this match. Love lets the forwards go forward. Close but short. Poppy Love, the scrum half, waits. Still it's the forwards, still England, and eventually they break down that Italian defence. It was all those in the low numbers in the end. England's first score, justly needed.
And they needed something early in this second half. I think a potential charge down by Jess Kavanagh might have helped their cause in the mix. Not very often the Welsh help the English out, but they were patient, way more controlled. Millie David gets on the outside again, another fantastic tackle, and just real patience by the England forwards to go over there.
Ella Cromack picks up her tee, having knocked this one over. All of a sudden, Italy's lead almost halved in 2.5 minutes by England. Great start. So Lavinia Pratichetti hits it into England's 22. A little slip of the feet from Lucy Sams. First start for England under-20s for Sams today. Caladine on the charge once more. Love, Cromack. There's a new focus on England's purpose in the start of the second 40. This is bouncing around awkwardly for Italy. They do get it off the floor and nicely here. Space opening up for Kone. Interception from England. They were right in the passing lane there, and then O'Donory gets the next pass. Space on the left-hand side if England want to move it. Love gets it going in the end. Flanagan, pass out wide to Millie David. She's in space once more. She hits the gas, and it is look at the heels. Millie David burns rubber at Ystrad Minac for the first time, and she races home.
Said that England have a few more cards to play, and it just needed things to come together for them. And Millie David there, she's shown it for Bristol Bears in the PWR all season, how much pace she's got. And as a defender, you do not want to be tracking across 10 metres to try and cover her, because she will be gone by the time you get anywhere close. Great finish and a great start to the second half from England.
Cromack with a much harder attempt on goal. But she is right on the mark. Great distance and accuracy from Ella Cromack. 15 points to 14 now.
I think these 2 points are going to be huge in this game as well. And Ella Cromack recently completed a 24-hour kickathon fundraising for her dad's treatment, and all that practice is paying off here. That was a fantastic conversion.
Okay.
almost 4,000 kicks within 24 hours she recorded. She was going for 16, she was going for 1,611, wasn't she? And she more than doubled that, beat Dan Carter in the process. And her dad here, Simon, today watching her play at number 10 and go 2 from 2 from the tee and starting to pull all manner of strings and set England free. Here's Millie David once more. David on the outside before swerving infield. Cromack with good zip on the pass. Dropping behind the back. Morale, excuse me. Wood, now Hopkins. There's a calmness now to the England fans around us in the stadium. Still behind though, England. Cromack, Hopkins, for how long? When they're in this kind of mood, Italy get a hand on that today and turn it over. Ball comes out, O'Donoghue there.
No clear release. No clear release. Okay, back 10. Clear release, please.
England's tempo is just lifted in this second half. They're just playing with a little bit more intent, quicker to the breakdown, quicker ball, allowing their attack to flow.
Blue 14.
Lavinia Pratichetti and her halfback Nicole Mastrangelo.
Numbers, Italy.
Charged here with
Numbers.
reasserting some control for Italy.
Open up.
It won't be easy. But the first half was conducted at their pace. And now things have been turned up at several levels by England. Italy, though, secure this ball and then bring it down into the rolling maul, from which they've scored today already. They'll have to go somewhere for Chiara Kelly to get another try from this position, but they've made 10 metres. And they get it back. Kekati, good power from the outside centre.
Okay. Advantage is over.
Mastrangelo, this is to Pirpiliu. Good tackle from Wood.
Leave it.
England coming off their line, but not putting any dominant tackles on the Italians yet. They are making headway.
You need to roll away quicker, please.
Mastrangelo past Dosi. Eventually brought down. Good run by the tight head. Now here's the open side for Rina. Got a forward pass in the process there. Italy's first promising attack after going 2 scores down to England ends in a forward pass.
I need you players to work harder. They're slowing the ball down at breakdown. Work harder, please. This is the mark. This is the mark. Let's set up. Come on, please.
Italy just looking to keep that ball alive. They either look to tip at the line, or if they carry into contact, they're looking for those support runners to get that offload away. And unfortunately, one too many times there. But if both teams continue to do this, I think this league could change hands a couple of times in the next 30 minutes.
Crouch. Bind. Sit. Time off. Time off. Okay. Guys, I want to see your bind, long bind, please, right? And I want to see stability off you. Okay, both sides. Long bind from you, stability. Okay. Time back on. Same ball.
Let's go. Adeline. Hand down, we're going to win this one.
Crouch. Bind.
So how high are England's pheromones? Will they run this from deep? Cromack. It's the kick downfield from Parry, but only down to Kristen Kone, who makes headway, does really well, the fullback. Enjoying the extra space she's finding after shifting from the wing last weekend. David on the tackle with Chiara Kelly. It's a good line here, taken by Andrioli. Alexa Costantini is caught behind the gain line. First receiver played by Blaskovic. Platiketti.
Release me, gather, that's fine. Back, please.
England have done really well here to push Italy back. And they're effectively starting from square one.
Advantage. Back, 10.
Penalty against Kiwi Fitzpatrick.
Lucy, remember what we had a chat about? 2 of them there.
Referee's just having a word with England there. They're a little bit slow to roll away once they've made that tackle. You can't roll into the opposition 9. You have to roll towards the sideline. But you probably can't get the camera angle where you are. The Italians just holding the English players into that ruck for a fraction.
This doesn't find touch from Platiketti. Cromack winding up the sidestep. Lifts it off the floor to Wood, who collects well. She's done brilliantly, the fullback. Poppy Love sizes up her options. Latui, good hands from England's number 8. Now Love goes herself. Showing so much more connection, this England team.
Don't play the goal on the floor.
Poppy Love holding her arm there after making that half break.
Playing the ball on the floor, trying to stop them playing. Okay.
Some good continuity from both sides in attack, looking to keep the ball alive, having wave after wave of forward pods come around the corner, looking to make inroads into the defence. I think from England's perspective, they've got a lot of kickers in that back line, but at the moment their kick chase isn't backing up the quality of kick that's happening, so they are finding space. Probably the one from Parry needed to find more ground rather than the returning Italian player, but if they can use their boot to good effect, move themselves downfield, but they have to back that up with a solid kick chase rather than allowing the Italians easy meters back in, and they're returning the ball really well.
Poppy Love looks in a high degree of discomfort after this collision. Really holding a shoulder. Or was it elbow, actually?
It's never nice when you get caught at the bottom of a ruck, and then you get players coming in, landing on top, who are only eyes on each other and the opposition, and you're the one caught in fire on the bottom, so hopefully it's nothing too serious.
It's remarkable to see how many players shake things off on a rugby pitch. Things that look like it's definitely going to end at least the game, possibly leave them out of action for a few weeks. Within a few minutes they can be history.
Yeah, I think as a player sometimes something happens and you get that initial shock, or that really hurts, and you just need a second for that to die away and to take a breath, and you realise it's not so bad.
Does the camera being on you, do you think, does that help as well? You've got to be tough here.
Sometimes, and also the other shot and you get absolutely smashed. That's the one where you want to get off the floor quickly and look like you're okay.
Yeah. Well, Poppy Love is back on her feet and fizzing passes into Cromack again, so that's good to see. Blaskovic with the tackle on Morale. It's Parry. And that didn't go to plan, but Picking it up was McQueen. Hopkins.
No, it's just a scrum. It's just the scrum.
Really purposeful run there from Caladine. Cromack just about keeps that.
We'll go for the first knock on in the tackle.
Or rather, was it Ava Wood, I think,
First
who
knock on in the tackle.
juggled the
Second
ball.
knock on. Okay. Will be scrum down, England. She's going off.
It's really unfortunate there because I think England's Millie David was on again down this touchline.
Let's have a set up here, please. Lucy, we're going to have a set up here. She's gone off. Okay.
Well, there's a little more damage than we'd hoped for Poppy Love. So she's heading off. England's scrum half. Pierpiliu of Italy on screen. Also resent. But she's okay. So on comes Daisy Aspinall, replacing Poppy Love. Not involved last match against Scotland. First appearance in this summer series for the extremely talented Daisy Aspinall. Coming on at scrum half.
No.
Cromack takes and then realigns. David in the clear. It's a great cover. Really good tackle from Italy's new player on, Lucia Moioli. Like David was free again, none.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to take the outside, but I think the tackle quality of this Italian side is particularly in those wide spaces. Natural responses potentially to go in high to knock down a fend or try and make it a safe tackle to cover that space, but you have to commit, you have to go low. That was a textbook tackle on Millie David there.
And one blue. 4 and 1 blue.
Is that time? Changes needing to be made, especially in this heat.
Yeah, okay. Time is off. Chloe,
The England scrum looked a little bit more stable on that last one. The Italians have probably had the upper hand so far in this match, but great platform for England to attack off that last one.
Okay. Time back on.
Captain Caladine to the front. And we've hardly seen an English rolling maul today, but we get a chance now. Caladine with the ball under her control. And Italy fighting hard, staying on their feet as well. But England are so cohesive here and reforming well. Taken off the back, taken into contact by Morale. But there they get it wrong.
I think the fact we haven't seen many England mauls is credit to the Italian discipline in defence. England have had plenty of opportunity to attack in the Italian half, but they've been so disciplined, so calm, so organised that they've either turned the ball over and got a penalty themselves, or they've just forced England into that error.
Crouch! Bind!
And the flurry of England scores at the start of this half, it is almost possible to forget that they are still behind.
Nice, stay there.
And Eddie Kiello picks off the base. Good tackle from England's Maddie Page, who's just on the park. And Platichetti clears and does okay from that kind of angle with the ball she had. Makes a safe touch. She is a conservative kicker, Amber, in that we've seen the distance she can put on the ball, but quite often going for touch she makes sure firstly, and it often goes 10 metres into the stands rather than looking for that extra metre up the pitch.
So I think it's a bit of a balance as a kicker. Do you go for that certainty or push it a little bit more? And I think she can probably find that middle ground.
Yeah, no, 8 away, 5 away.
So England's maul gets going again. Aspinall seeing it march forward and a bit in field.
That's once.
They'll have to go off the back of this soon, and they do.
You are stopping her from tackling.
Tap and go, taken quickly by Morale. Italy get to grips with her in the end, 10 metres away from Italy's line. Aspinall. 5 metres away. Aspinall again. Calladine now. Italy take her legs away. Another penalty, these are adding up now.
Italy, no more sealing off.
Aspinall has it at half feet, goes away to the left. That's a lovely pass as well onto Fitzpatrick. England are up to the line, they'll go to the backs here. David again, she'll take the step on the inside and force her way down across the whitewash. Millie David scores again, and this time England take the lead for the first time as we edge on the hour mark.
Really smart play. Cormac coming out the back, releasing Millie David. Does so well to evade that tackle. Big left foot step to come back inside. But that's what happens when you can sustain pressure. England probably didn't do it enough in that first half, and I said about the Italian discipline in defence probably makes it a little bit easy when teams are coughing up the ball. Whereas England are way more patient, building the phases. Italians are under pressure, and this is what happens.
Cormac's on target again, but not quite the distance that time.
We're just going to have a water break.
So water break for both teams, and
Water break.
Cormac rather gingerly walking away after that. That's a concern for England. So it's taken 20 minutes, Amber, for England to get not just back on level terms, but pull themselves ahead for the first time. It's been, I suppose, what they're talking about right now, just what the coaches asked for.
Their forwards are starting to build a little bit more momentum in terms of their carries. Their speed of ball is quicker. Daisy Aspinall has it at the base of the ruck, which is allowing the forwards to then run onto it. They've got a good mix of play, and the tempo is just keeping the Italians on the back foot, not allowing them to get off the line to make those big shots to compete at the breakdown. If you're on the back foot in defence, you're probably not going to go into the breakdown and try and steal the ball. You're going to be focused on fanning out, covering the space, getting up and making your tackles. Conversely, in the first half, the Italians were getting up, making double shots, and that allows them to compete. So that's why England's momentum seems a little bit freer, allowing those forwards to get into the game. And then the backs are coming in, making good decisions at the right time and moving the ball wide. And you can tell because Millie David and Sophie Hopkins have had their hands on the ball way more.
Amber, for England in their next match, which will be the last of the summer series, it's against France, who they lost to last year, heavily as well, 70 points. The French scored, England's 12 or around that. So that match, obviously, I'm sure is circled in the calendars as one they want to be peaking for. Are we seeing the two teams they've selected almost competing against each other for then who gets merged into that final team against the French? Is that possibly how England are playing this development side of the summer series, which is what it is focused on?
Yeah, and I think the layout of this tournament is a perfect opportunity to watch your pathway grow, to give a lot of players an opportunity to play international rugby, and that's what's so great to see about this tournament in terms of the number of changes from all teams that are going to play today compared to last week. So for England, for Italy, there are lots of changes. Players can hold their hand up, and for England, like you say, that France game is probably going to be the one that they've earmarked to be their biggest game. France played extremely well last week. For all these players, it's probably in the back of their mind that also that's the game that they want to get picked for. That's almost their final in their head. So they'll be doing everything they can today to put themselves in that starting team, or at least in that 23 come next week.
And the homework is difficult enough against this Italian team right now. But now England have themselves in front. It'll be interesting to see how this final 20 minutes plays, because Italy far from out of the contest.
I think looking ahead to that France game as well, for the England coaches, this will have been a really good tester. Probably not on the scorecards in terms of how quickly the Italians came out and how good their attack and their defence was in that first 40. But it would have asked England some really valuable questions heading into that game against France. Lots of things you can go and analyse and fix up during that training week. There's 6 days between games, so I think this game will be a really good game to look back on, to then allow them to fix up going into that France game.
Lavinia Pratichetti kicks us off after the water break, the last quarter of this match remaining. And England's combinations being mixed up a little. Now playing at 10 is Morale. And passing that into Chloe Flanagan. Second season in this England under-20 setup for Flanagan. Powerful carry from McQueen. Straight and true.
I've just asked you not to slow that ball down.
Italy's Pratichetti was deemed to be deliberately slowing the ball out. Deliberately or accidentally, it's the same outcome, so she's penalised. Cromack has threaded that one very nicely down the touchline. What a gain of ground from Ella Cromack.
Yeah, she's got a big boot, and we spoke about Pratichetti and the distance she makes on her kick. Conversely, Ella Cormack is going for everything she's got. That was a fantastic kick to get her team back into the Italian half.
Italy take this off the back and fling it into the midfield, running at a very broken up defence. Nice break from Tonelotto. Now Constantini. Mastrangelo. And that is Pradichetti's kick, which has been well judged. Cromack doesn't have the space to kick, so she runs and runs really well. Hopkins takes this on. England have fought their way out of that particular tight spot. Italy again on the floor, 2 players looking for the ball, but it'll come back for Aspinall.
Retreat 8.
Leah Green
No, you're fine.
on at fullback for England. She kicks downfield. Pierpiliu with the reply. Tonelotto again. Started last week, Margherita Tonelotto. And looking to bring all that dynamism for the last 20 minutes against England. Pratichetti, well, she spotted space here and found it very nicely. Green brings it under control. She's hit hard by Italy's chasing number 10. And they set off here. Lovely space opening up here for Italy. Goodness me. It was Nicole Mastrangelo who found the hole, but without any support, she loses possession on the floor.
I think England got away with that one then. Leah Green, interesting decision. She ran it outside of her 22 and then decided to kick and kind of sliced underneath it.
Okay.
I think if you're going to kick, probably send it from your 22 and get your team upfield, but a great return. And we said the England kick chase hasn't been as organised as what it needs to be.
Can I have the ball,
Mastrangelo finding a lovely gap, but just the support players can't get there quick enough, and Parry probably saving her team from another Italian onslaught into the 22.
There is Leah Green. Played well against Scotland last week. Particularly good from the tee and tidying up the backfield for England. One of the under-23 players in this England team, which you're allowed to include in this under-20s tournament. Each team can field up to 5 under-23 players in their matchday 23s.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, I thought Leah Green had a really good game last week. Cleared up a lot of the kicks from Scotland in the backfield, returned them with interest, generally made more metres, got over the gain line for her team.
Okay, holding on.
Let's fucking go, Ella.
Yeah, okay. Blue, use the line for me. Use the line. Thank you. Numbers 6, guys, 6. Use the line. Blue, use the line.
We're on.
Yes, you're offside. Offside. Line, line.
So Caladine on halfway. Kiwi Fitzpatrick takes it down. And England's maul gets set. The body positions nice and low. And making steady headway. Aspinall does want it though. Ekes out every extra yard that she can. Parry on the carry. Supported by Morale. Good work from England's 2 centres. Now Cromack on the next phase. Green out to David. Aspinall to Ala Latui. Cromack with Italian defenders coming up hard on her.
No hands, please, Blue.
Still an organised blue line in front of England. Nice no-look pass from Morale. Good counter-ruck from Italy.
I'm happy.
Slow ball for England, nothing too exciting that they can do from there.
It's Pratichetti at fly half as well with that counter-ruck.
England have to kick it over the top. That seems like the best option, but Italy will return fire quickly. Leah Green keeps it for England, but Italy are all over England's fullback. Harry plays scrum half. Ala Latui thrown to the floor. Italy have got to grips with England's powerful number 8 in this match. Cromack spots an awful lot of space that just hadn't been covered, because it's not the usual expectation that a 10 will kick that far. In doing so though, Ella Cromack has gone down with clutching her leg in the backfield, so England without their fly half right now.
So much better kick chase by England off that as well. Fielding kick, found space, and now they're up pressing the Italians in inside their half.
Hands now, please.
Pratichetti heads to touch here, and that is going to bring a halt to proceedings. So Ella Cromack is going to receive some more treatment here, and she looks in need of it. She is the player down on the ground
Time off.
receiving treatment, so we'll have a break here. But it came right from that long kick of Cromack's.
So let's set up. Time back on. Hey. Who's the line?
Yeah, that heat adds a different dimension to playing, but also he said about how many changes England have made, and it's how match fit are these players. There's been a big break since the Bucks and the PWR season, and you can train as hard as you can, but it's also hard to replicate that match intensity. So the players last week will have been a little bit more up to speed.
Stay onside. Onside. No compete.
So Cromack is not yet ready to play, but England are playing nonetheless. Latui makes good yards, the number 8. Morale. Now Cromack does get it. She's not using both legs kindly, and David does make good yards on the right, on the left wing. Aspinall. Green at fly half. England having to use understudies all over the park right now in the playmaking department. Aspinall. Morale. She's taken well. She was just looking to go further when Italy sprung off their line. Fitzpatrick takes the ball well. when England's forwards have got the ball, they've been very, very direct. Caladine again, but she may have gone away from her teammates here. They get there in time. Cromack puts this on the floor. David will chase it, and it will be beaten by everybody.
Lovely bit of ingenuity off the left peg there. I think the Italians unlucky to not get that turnover.
2, 3.
But you spoke about the forwards there. Zara Green's really impressed me. I think every time she's carried, she's beaten the first defender, got over the gain line, got her leg drive going, allow players to come and latch.
England's front row stocks are high here in Ustrad Minak. Grace Clifford returning to action last weekend and scoring.
I need it to be credible that I can see you're in control of the ball.
And now off the bench as well, with Lily Plowman.
Max, substitution complete. No, time is off. Chloe, time is off.
Amongst all the different talking points about positional play and which team's in the ascendancy, the scoreboard is still there to be authoritatively controlled by one team or the other. England's only 4 points ahead. Still there for Italy, this match.
Yeah, still there, and after that lightning start by England, the 2 quick tries, they haven't quite been able to capitalise on pulling away with this. They got their 3rd try and then it's kind of been stunted a little bit. The Italians have come back into the game. Some really smart kicks, just turning England, putting them back when they look like they're starting to build something. But simple things done well for England are just going to allow them, especially the amount of changes they've just brought on. They need to find a foothold back in this game. Just need to be patient.
Italy's lineup this time doesn't deliver them the ball back. England have been trying to spoil all game. Eventually they do right now, and then play into the hands of Morale. And Leah Green at 10 now. Chip and chase ahead. It's kicked forward though. England have collected it. Italy failing to deal with that latest England attack, and now England are lurking. The next score for England will put them beyond striking distance from Italy. Aspinall digs for it. That's Maddie Page, wearing 20 and off the bench. And here's Morale, and she cuts a good line here. And Kamala Morale has got over the whitewash, and that will settle England down. For the first time in the match, England ahead, and by more than a score.
Yeah, good play. Sarah Parry just putting a little grubber through, finding space in behind, and then a really good pressing defence, gets that turnover ball. And they're just really patient on that transition, not moving the ball too wide, keeping close to the breakdown, and that's a lovely line by Morale, just cutting back in against the grain, finding the outside shoulder, and then has the strength to go over.
Try is good.
Leah Green's first kick of the day. And England go 11 points ahead in South Wales.
Excuse me. Understand. 5.
Looks like Leah Green slotted into that 10 role. She was on at 15 last week and very much played like a second playmaker to Amelia McDougall, so it'd be interesting to see how she goes out and out in that
10 shirt. 26 points to 15 to England. Prataketti gets us going again. Lucy Simpson doesn't knock it on. Aspinall and Green, the halfbacks now. Nice break. Italy get it back though, and they might be stealing in here. Down the right wing, they'll scorch across the turf to do it with Luci Moioli. Well, England's lead cut in half once again.
That's a poacher's try. England just trying a little bit too hard. Probably the offload not needed when you just got yourself a little cushion on the scoreboard, but that acceleration to get away from the defenders. Great pick up off the floor. And that's what your wingers to do, have one sniff and come out with points.
So nothing out of reach for Italy now. Luna Sacchi, the blindside flanker no less, is taking this kick on goal. Walks up to it, keeps her head down, but she's pulled it to the left. Good distance on the kick from Sacchi, but still Italy adrift, and by 6 points.
But the crucial thing, it brings it back to one score again. So if they get anything in and around the sticks, still game on.
Fourth try for Italy. They would have to then convert it, which they haven't managed to do today. But yes, anything around the sticks you would surely think leaves them in very good stead now, and they go to work, popping this to each other close to the line. England though get it back, and this is dangerous from England, and Shirley looks to do to Italy what Italy have just done to England. Here's Page. Aspinall. Jasmine O'Donnery going to do the full 80, it looks like, the lock forward. Eva Wood with the last carry. O'Donnery again. Aspinall, Latui. England will sense the holes are starting to come in this Italian defensive line. Amelia Williams with that last carry forward. Put onto the toe here by Green, and into the corner go England, and they touch it down. In the right-hand corner, Sophie Hopkins gets the job done. The tries coming thick and fast now.
Wondered how well Leah Green were doing that playmaker role, but spots the space. There's no one in behind for the Italians, but that's a wonderful pickup by Sophie Hopkins. Don't underestimate how hard that skill is when you're flying, trying to chase that kick down, to reach right down to your bootlaces and pick that up. That's a quality finish. I feel like that was a really crucial score for England.
Yeah, they've recovered from that opportunistic try from Italy just moments ago from an error by Green, but this time it's with her kick to the corner that creates it. So Green instantly putting that moment behind her and creating another score. England's 11-point lead restored. Morale, she's become more and more a go-to player for England in attack, the inside centre. Carried very well in this second half. It's another good carry here from Amelia Williams. Aspinall thinks about going herself, and she can really go when she wants to. Parry gets the hands free. Wood in support.
You weren't supporting your body weight. I said no. You're still not letting in. 17. Not supporting body weight.
So Leah Green puts that into touch. Does her best Ella Cromack impression and put good yards on that kick.
All good. Take a step. Thank you.
England's at the middle of the line-out with O'Donoghue, and whoever she's been working with, whether it's Calladine or Simpson, things have worked well at the line-out for England. And look at this rolling ball, it has steam puffing out of the top, and England are going to be over from 20 metres. England's forwards ransacking Italy and taking them over the whitewash for another try. They have taken a while to come to the boil today, but now that they have, England in full cry is quite a sight.
So hard to stop them all when it's rolling this quickly. They just peel off to the left-hand side and Italy have no more numbers behind, and England are basically running towards the try line. I think the substitutions last week, England looked a little bit just disjointed and had to build back into the game, but I think the impact from the bench, especially in the last 10 minutes from England, has been critical in closing this game out.
So Leah Green strikes the post. England's lead at 16 points though, 36-20. What a second half from England. 36 points scored to Italy's 5 in the last 38 minutes. How should Italy look at the scoreline, Amber, and what's gone on in this second half?
I think just not looking at the scoreboard overall as it stands, think about how the game unfolded, how that first half unfolded, what problems they caused England, and then look about how they can fix up this last 10-15 minutes and how to close out a game and keep that lead.
Italy have Wales in their last match in 6 days' time, next Thursday. England with France in their sights as they close this match out now. Aspinall at scrum half.
I think psychologically it's also so hard as well from an Italian perspective. You've worked so hard to keep a foothold in this game, to be so close to be fighting, and then for England to score a couple of tries is really demoralising.
Morale goes again, good tackle from Mastrangelo. Latui gets the call from Green, who wants Hopkins to go after this, and Hopkins is racing onto the ball here. She doesn't grab it cleanly and it goes forward. Well, she had support, she had space. It would have certainly been England's cantering in again, but instead they close out an impressive second half from the English. 36 points they've scored in the last 40 minutes to just 5 from Italy. They have run away with it in the end. A first half of indifference from the English gave way to a brilliant performance in the second. Amber.
Yeah, you sense that England had to come out the blocks firing, and they got those 2 quick tries, which I think gave them that confidence to then push off. I think the longer this game ended up in an arm wrestle probably favoured that Italian side, and they can take a lot of credit for this game. I think at fly half, Pratichetti controlled her team really well. A little bit more distance on her kicking game would really have done the damage against England, but I thought her playmaking and her decisions were really good. So there's lots of promise in that Italian side. I think they'll give the Welsh a really good fight next week. But for the English, I think they got challenged in that first half. They will have to definitely fix a few things up before meeting the French, but I think the resolve and fight of that team in that second half, they will have taken a lot from that and a lot of confidence, knowing that they can come from behind against a strong side and come out on top.
What threats do England have, do you think, that the French will be concerned about particularly as we see we roll through the tries here from the first to the last, with Eddie Chiello starting things off and then Italy's rolling maul try. But what could be troubling the French?
I think the kicking game from Cromac, if she gets it right, I think she's really dangerous. She's got a lot of length on her boot, and if she finds space, she can really turn that French. Obviously the pace in Hopkins and David out wide, I think they'll challenge the French as well, so they'll have to be on their wits defensively to nullify those threats.
And for England's part, what have you seen from the French in that first match? We'll see them again today, of course, as we see Millie David race home with another scorching try for her that England will be particularly concerned with.
I think the French were really dominant against this Italian side at the breakdown, and the Italians undid England a couple of times today with the double tackles, which meant England didn't get on the front foot, and also competing really hard at that breakdown, which again they got penalties from, and they killed England's attack, just slowed it down, and then it's really hard to build into the game. So I think England definitely needs to tidy up their contact skills to try and fight to win those collisions, to get the breakdown a little bit faster, to secure their own ball, and I think they can cause the French a few more problems, but the French are really strong in that area in the first game.
Kamala Morale going over from short range, a really important try, and this was the one which ensured England would be taking the victory, scored by Hopkins. And a match in which she showed much more about what she's about, the right winger for England. Finishing on the score sheet, but what a way to finish. And the forwards will enjoy watching this one back on the video review. At high speed, England's rolling maul. So it's finished in the first match of the day in Ustrad Minac. England 36, Italy 20. Fine performance from the English in the end. Now we have our next match on the blocks coming up shortly. We hope to have your company for that one. We will be bringing you the action of France against Ireland from 3:30.